I begin every day with a prayer in these end times. In the thick of things, he helped me read between these thin lines. Now he's setting goals that we gon' never reach. I was able to learn what they gon' never teach. You can't convert a homeless man if you looking to preach first. Before you bring the truth, bring them something to eat first. Either you selling out or you in the sell for 10. It's more about what you melling out, not just your melanin. They say snitches get stitches, but I'm avoiding ditches, cause I'm intelligent. According to the Father, you are gone and your belief is unbelievable, but believe what you want. But as for me and my fam, we gon' serve the Most High, yeah.
We never going out of service. We never going out of service. As for me and my family, we gon' serve the Most High.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. My name is Brother Chris. This is Brother Mike. And we are PAMAA. Alright, tonight we're coming to y'all with a brand new lesson. It's called the gospel. So we're gonna be giving y'all the good news. You know, of course, you know, we always go into an in-depth intro, to get y'all prepared and to get your minds, ready for the lesson. All right, because as you're gonna see as we go through this lesson, we have to wake up the lost sheep. All right, so we supposed to go to the lost sheep. All right, when we're dealing with the message, the audience that we're seeking. All right, so brother, let's go to Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5.
Gotcha. Book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yashaya sent forth.
All right, so the 12, go ahead.
And commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
All right, so he wanted the 12 disciples to go to the lost sheep of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, so he wanted them to only go to the 12 tribes. All right, now, we're around more Gentiles, in this modern day time. But at the same time, that must be our same mission. We must go to the Israelites first. All right. Now, if the Gentiles come in, if they cross our path and they're inquisitive, they want to know more about the truth or the gospel, and they're willing to hear what we have to say, then of course we're obligated to teach them. All right. Let's just throw an example out there. Let's go to Acts chapter 8. All right, let's go to Acts chapter 8. All right, brother, can you go to the Acts chapter 8, verse 27?
Yep, the book of Acts chapter 8, verse 27. And he rose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, an eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians.
All right, so this person, read verse 6 right quick.
Verse 6. And the people with one accord gave heed.
Not verse 6, but 26. Excuse me.
26. And the angel of the Most High spake unto Philip, saying, Arise and go toward the south unto the way that goeth down from Jerusalem unto Gaza, which is desert.
Desert.
Desert. And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia.
So there was a man from Ethiopia. All right. Philip is an Israelite sent to what? To preach and teach to who? The 12 tribes of Israel. But behold, a man from Ethiopia. Go ahead.
An eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 28. Was returning and sitting in his chariot, read Isaiah the prophet.
So he was reading Isaiah the prophet. This Ethiopian man was reading Isaiah the prophet. So he was seeking out what? He was seeking the truth. He wanted to have more understanding about what Ahayah. All right, and this prophet that he was reading about. Go ahead.
Verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Spirit said unto Philip,
Mm-hmm.
Go near, and join thyself to this chariot.
Mm.
And Philip ran thither to him,
Mm-hmm.
and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, Understandest thou what thou readest?
So he asked the Ethiopian, do you understand what thou readest? Go ahead.
And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me?
This Ethiopian is humble. All right, he's humble. And see, the Gentiles, when we go before a Gentile, we even discuss anything that's on a scholarly level, or that's on a biblical level, anything that has to do with with common sense or intelligence, we automatically looked at as if we don't know nothing. Every single time. But you might come across a Gentile that's willing to hear what you got to say, because they actually seeking Ahayah. All right, and me myself, I came across a couple of Gentiles that had that type of attitude, where I could actually talk to them and they would hear me. But it's only a small few. All right, go ahead. That I've come across. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. And he said,
Mm-hmm.
How can I, except some man should guide me?
Mm.
And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him.
Mm.
The place of the scripture which he read was this: He was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and like a lamb dumb before his shearer, so opened he not his mouth.
Go ahead. See, and we know who this is. This is Christ. Go ahead.
In his humiliation, his judgment was taken away.
Mm.
And who shall declare his generation?
Who shall declare his generation? Go ahead.
For his life is taken from the earth.
Mm.
And the eunuch answered Philip and said, I pray thee, of whom speakest the prophet this? Of himself or of some other man?
Ooh, so he was like, who is this prophet? This prophet speaking of himself or some other man? So he knew that there was some great significance about this chapter. All right, that's Isaiah 53, one of the most important chapters in the scriptures, because it tells us about Christ and how Christ would come and die for Israel. All right, go ahead.
Then Philip opened his mouth and began at the same scripture and preached unto him Yashaya.
Ooh-wee. Go ahead.
And as they went on their way, they came unto a certain water.
Hold right there. We ain't gonna go there. But do you see this? This eunuch was humble enough to ask for help concerning the scriptures. So Philip what? He started teaching them. But the Spirit led Philip to this Gentile. All right, just like I know for a fact, it's a guy at work today. I mean, right now that I work with, he work in another department. He looking for answers. And me and him, I was talking in the break room one day, and I could see him, his spirit sizzled with mine. You know what I'm saying? He's a Gentile. He's an Edomite. And I started talking to the brother, and the brother is trying to change his life. And I started talking to him, and some of the stuff I was talking to him about, he could relate to. And we started talking, and a lot of stuff started making sense. So what I did with him is I informed him who the children of Israel were. And he heard it. He couldn't dispute it. He didn't try to. He heard what was said. So I continued to what? Give him what? More bread. More understanding. Every time I talk to him, we talk about something new, something different. All right. And where I work at right now, on the shift I work on, none of the brothers in there ain't trying to talk about nothing. But this Edomite is. So if I'm gonna talk to whoever want to hear the gospel, the good news, they gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. All right, you gonna get the business. All right. So let's go back to Matthew, brother. All right. Just want to throw that out there. We got to give y'all the good understanding here. All right, so we're going back to Matthew, brother. Read Matthew 5 right quick. Matthew 10 and 5. Read it one more time.
Book of Matthew chapter 10 verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
These 12 Yashaya sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go ahead.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand. They was preaching this way back when. All right. And Christ was telling us because the kingdom of heaven was at hand back then, just as it is now. Because this is the last empire. The last beast in the book of Daniel, verse 7. I'm not verse 7, but chapter 7.
Right.
All right, speaks of 4 beasts. We in the last beast. I mean, we dealing with the last beast. This is the last kingdom that will rule over us. And then Christ will return. It's extremely simple, but we'll go into that in a later date. All right, keep going, brother.
Verse 8.
But the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's the good news. But we're going to prepare you for what? The kingdom of heaven tonight. We're going to tell you about the gospel and what the gospel means. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8. Heal the sick.
Heal who?
Heal the sick.
Heal the sick. So we're supposed to heal the sick. Now, people will look at you and they'll be like, oh man, I don't see nobody performing no miracles like the disciples did. No, you don't know. There might be people out there performing miracles like that. But it's as simple as telling somebody, hey brother, man, quit eating that pork. Hey brother, why don't you lay off that porn? Hey brother, why don't you stop smoking all that weed? Hey brother, hey sister, why you letting all them men come into you like that? Why you devaluing your body? All right. Hey sister, how many times you gonna let somebody hurt you like this? Because every time something happens or we go through some type of trauma or we put stuff in our body that makes us sick. Sickness is what? Is demonic.
Yep.
It comes from demons. Go ahead.
Heal the sick.
Heal the sick.
Cleanse the lepers.
Cleanse the lepers.
Raise the dead.
And raise the dead. Oh, the dead. You ever heard of Isaiah? Not Isaiah, but Ezekiel 37? The valley of the dry bones? All right, you looking at somebody that was in the valley. I was in the valley. Somebody preached to me and taught me. And I got baptized just like this brother right here been baptized by me. All right. And I was cleansed. He was cleansed. And then once we was baptized and came out that water, what happened? When you go in the water, you stop breathing. And then when you come up, what happened? You breathe new life. The breath, the woo-walk was there. Now the woo-walk helping me, the Holy Spirit. All right? Go ahead.
Cast out devils.
Cast out devils. All right? You got to, casting out devils is simply telling somebody the truth. All right? Because when you tell somebody the truth, what first thing they do is get mad. Who you, what? Oh, whatever. Whatever. What about you? What about you? What you doing? I don't know. All that there. They're trying to get you mad so a devil can get in you. They want you to get all emotional. But you know, we gotta cast them devils out. We gotta call up what they say, you gotta call a spade a spade. So when you see something wrong and somebody offend you, you gotta let them know. All right? Because most of the times it's not that person offending you. It's a devil. All right? So, with that being said, we have to go into a couple things, all right, that must be fixed. All right? So before we can fix anything or teach somebody the gospel, we have to let them know that what they've been hearing is not true. Or what they've been doing for the most of their life is not right. All right? So let's go to Romans chapter 10. All right, go ahead. Start at verse 1, bro.
Verse 1? All right. Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Ahayah for Israel is that they might be saved.
So he prayed that all Israel be saved, not just a few. All right, that's what we all want. Cause when you get this understanding, this truth, man, you be like, man, why my people can't get it together? I want all of us to be in the kingdom. I want to see my mama there. I want to see my daddy there. I want to see my brothers. I want to see my cousins. I want to see my grandma. I want to see my grandfather, and so on and so forth. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal for Ahayah.
See, everybody has a zeal for Ahayah, and I'm gonna give y'all a definition of zeal. All right, they have what? They want to. They really want to serve Ahayah. Because when you can talk to somebody that don't read the Bible at all, or just go to church Easter Sunday and for Christmas sunrise service, and they love God. You know, God is, you know, in my heart. God know my heart and all the rest around that. You know, everything around that. All right. But all of our people, all of Israel has a zeal for the Most High. Read that from the top again, verse 2.
Yep. For I bear them record that they have a zeal for Ahayah, but not according to knowledge.
But not a what?
But not according to knowledge.
So you have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. All right. So you don't have any understanding of the Most High because you don't understand His word. All right. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 3. For they being ignorant of Ahayah's righteousness.
He said they be what?
Being ignorant of Ahayah's righteousness.
All right. So in times past and in videos before this, we told y'all what righteousness was. It's the law. The Most High's righteousness is the law. Again, the Most High gave us the laws. All right. He spoke on the mountain to the children of Israel, to our ancestors, and told us, hey, do these things. This is righteousness before the nations. This is your understanding and your knowledge before the world. All right. We read that in Deuteronomy 4 in the last video. All right, so if this is your first video that you're watching, go back and read it because we're not going to go back into it tonight. Go ahead.
For they being ignorant of Ahayah's righteousness.
Go ahead.
And going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Ahayah.
See, we go about to submit ourselves to our own righteousness. All right, again, we'll say this, and this is a new saying in the earth. All right, I got my own truth. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Your own truth?
Oh my God.
So it's about you. Read that one more time, brother. Read that one more time. Start at that comma.
Yep.
It says, and they have what?
Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Ahayah.
All right, so because they what? They go about to establish their own righteousness, they cannot submit themselves to Ahayah. Right. All right? Who do we know that done this in the past? All right, Cain. Cain is a prime example of establishing his own righteousness, and we're gonna read about it, and we're gonna see what happened to Cain. All right. So let's go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 2.
Verse 2. Okay. Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. And she again. Oh no. And
Just
she
right.
again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep.
Abel was a keeper of the sheep. Go ahead.
But Cain was a tiller of the ground.
All right. So Cain, he dealt with what? The vegetation. All right. So he was like most people today. They're dealing with what? They all about eating vegetables. They call themselves vegan. All this good stuff. All right. And Cain dealt with what? With the flock, with the goats and the sheep and all that good stuff. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground in offering unto the Most High.
He did what?
Brought of the fruit of the ground in offering unto the Most High.
So he brought the fruit of the ground as an offering to the Most High. Why did he do that? Why did he do that? All right. Go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 21.
All right.
Now check this out.
Book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 21. And unto Adam also, to his wife, did the Most High Ahayah make coats of skin and clothe them. And the Most High Power said, Behold.
Hold right there now. Hold right there. All right. So the Most High clothed their nakedness with what? with a garment. All right, but he made them clothes. He made them skin from what? From an animal. All right, so the nakedness of Adam and Eve and their sins was covered by what? A sacrifice. That was the first time in history that something died on the earth for a man. So it was known at that time, all right, that there had to be a sacrifice. When you sacrifice something to the Most High, it had to be blood. All right, you had to kill something. You had to kill a beast. All right, and Cain knew this. He was the firstborn child, so he knew he was wrong for this. So go read that again. Go back to chapter 4, verse 4. 4. Yeah, 3. Read 3. Yeah.
Right. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought forth of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Most High.
Boy, you out of line. Boy, you out of line. Why are you trying to do your own thing? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock.
All right, so Abel did what he was supposed to. All right, some people say, well, Cain didn't. He couldn't. You know, he didn't have anything to offer. What you talking about? He could have he could have bought it with his brother. Yeah. If he had to, I'm pretty sure his brother would have gave him an offering. But Cain said, well, you know what? I'm finna establish my own righteousness. I'm finna do my own thing. Ahayah gonna have to accept what I do. You know, Ahayah's gonna have to accept my truth, and my truth is veganism. You know, I can't kill no animal, but I'll take this corn and this eggplant and put it on the altar and a watermelon. He'll like it. It smells good. I tried it, but I tried it before I even came here. He gonna like it. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Most High had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
So he had respect of it, right? Because it was righteous. It's what he said do. Go ahead.
But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect.
So he didn't respect it at all. Go ahead.
And Cain was very wroth.
Cain was wroth. Cain was upset. Now, how can he be upset when he know he didn't do what the Most High asked? You see what I'm saying? People, that's how people are on the earth. They get mad at the Most High. All right, and they get mad. They be like, you know, saying all. They be, you know, cursing the Most High and, you know, all this other stuff. But then they live wickedly. All right, never seeked him out at all. But they want to blame him for everything. No, it's your fault. All right, go ahead.
But unto Cain and unto his offering, he had not respect.
That's right.
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
And his countenance fell. That means his face was what? He was down. All right, go ahead.
And the Most High said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth?
Why art thou wroth? Come on, man. Go ahead.
And why is thy countenance fallen?
Yeah, go ahead.
If thou doest well.
If thou what?
If thou doest well.
So this lets you know that Cain did wrong. Cain did wrong. All right, we cannot philosophize about what we see right here. The Most High say he was wrong because he didn't provide the right offering. Go ahead.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
Shall thou not be accepted? Just like your brother. Your brother ain't special. He just did what he was supposed to do. Did you see this? All right, go ahead.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
He said, if you doest not well, sin lieth at the door. So you go about establishing your own righteousness. Some people will be like, it was just some plants. But some people say, you might have a teenage daughter. Her skirt just a little short. Her pants just a little tight. Oh, I just let her go out the porch. Now she done took a inch and turned it into a mile. That's what happens. Because you're going to see what Cain did. Cain took an inch and turned it into 4 miles. Check it out.
And unto thee shall be his desire. And thou shalt...
Go back. It says what?
If thou doest not well.
If thou doest not well, go ahead.
Sin lieth at the door.
Sin lieth at the door, go ahead.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
And unto who?
and unto thee shall be his desire.
Who is he? How can Cain be the desire of someone else than the Most High at this time? Who would he be a desire to? Lucifer. Because you got to remember, Lucifer was still out there. He was waiting on somebody that he could deceive again. Because wasn't there a serpent seed and a woman seed? Yes. All right. Go ahead.
And thou shalt rule over him.
All right, and thou shalt rule over him. Because it's telling you that Satan would rule over who? Cain. If he decided to keep going what? Left. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
All right, he killed him. All right, see, that's what happened. So it went from him. Cain went from breaking the law. All right, the breaking a law, and the Most High told him like, look, you good. Just do what you're supposed to do, and all is good. Cain was like, nah, this is what I want to do. All right. And then once Lucifer seen it, and then he seen that Cain was jealous of his brother because the Most High didn't accept this offering, and he was like, Lucifer probably looking on the side like, but this dude must have a retard. He must have mutated or something, cause he kind of slow. I can use him.
Oh my goodness.
Boy, I can manipulate him. He is slow. Cause all he had to do is just. But yes, thank you. I done got hooked up, and I got my first serpent seed, my first killer in the earth. All right, cause I can't kill him, so I'm gonna get them to kill each other. So Cain was the first victim of what? Of having his own truth, and what? Living life to the fullest, living life with no rules. Establishing his own righteousness. All right, let's go back to Romans. Go ahead, bro. You know.
Romans chapter 10, verse 1.
Brethren,
my heart's desire and prayer for Ahayah for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal for Ahayah, but not according to knowledge.
That's right. Go ahead.
For they, being ignorant of Ahayah's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Ahayah.
All right, so if we don't do what we're supposed to do, we end up like Cain. All right, we try to go and establish our own truths, and then what? We end up hurting our own people. All right, right now we're under a covenant. All right, we've been under a covenant for a long time, so we have to tell you that you're wrong and that you're not doing the right thing. All right, that comes with the healing process. All right. To show you that, hey, you're a sinner, you wrong, and you got to do what's right. What you're doing is not right according to the Most High. Read Romans 10, verse 3 one more time.
For they, being ignorant of Ahayah's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Ahayah.
All right, because if you establish your own righteousness, it's not right.
Yep.
All right, what is that called? It's called knowledge of self. Oh my goodness, your own truth. All this stuff that we're hearing, y'all, is wrong, and we make it. They get us to deal with it so it sound cool. That's what. Yeah, sound cool. Knowledge. I got knowledge of self. Do you have knowledge of self? Knowledge of self is gonna lead you down the wrong path. Because if you're just dealing with yourself, you'll never, ever be dealing with yourself. All right? And with that being said, let's go to Corinthians 10 and 19. Because if you establish your own righteousness, you're going to be dealing with a spirit. All right? So you're going to be dealing, most people that deal with knowledge of self, they always have some idol erected.
Yeah.
And they burning with sage. All right, and they dealing with crystals and all this other stuff that we got, that you got from the Gentiles. And you think that it come from Africa. It's a whole lot of Gentiles in Africa with our people. Remember that. Everybody in Africa ain't the same. All right, the practices that we were dealing with came from the other nations, the voodoo, all that. All right, Some of it's mixed with some of the rituals that we did in the Old Testament. But we would sacrifice animals and things of that nature. But we went to the left with it. We started adding Babylonian tactics with our rituals. Go ahead, brother.
Mm-hmm. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 19. What I say then?
What I say then? Go ahead.
That the idol is anything?
Is what?
That the idol is anything?
That the idol is anything? Go ahead.
Or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything?
That's a question. Go ahead. Keep going.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils.
They sacrifice to devils. So this knowledge of self and all this stuff that we have acquired in the last, I guess the last 5 or 10 years. All right, it's the Gentiles. They sacrifice to devils. All right, they sacrifice to idols. All right, they don't even teach us how to sacrifice to gods. All right, to the fallen angels. We sacrificing the devils. That which is what? Not a god. So the Most High looking at you like you a foolish. I can't call you a fool if you out there doing it, but you're foolish. All right, because you lack understanding. And you doing this right here. Let's go to Hosea 4 and 6. All right. Because if you've been watching, the videos, you're gonna see something right here in Hosea 4 and 6. All right. In Hosea 4 and 6, we're gonna give you some understanding of why things are the way they are. And why you sacrificing the devils. And don't even know it. You think you're doing something good. All right, the devils can give you they can get you adulation as well. They can give you blessings, but they come with an ultimate price, your soul, and probably your children. And if you don't give them their sacrifices, things will start happening. I promise you. Go ahead.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6.
Go ahead.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So our people are destroyed for what? A lack of knowledge. Again, you will go about establishing your own righteousness based on your knowledge. You lack tons of knowledge. All right, our people lack we lack a lot of knowledge, y'all. You gotta remember, we was beat down in slavery for what? For over, I say over, it's more than 600, over 400 years. Slavery started for us in Africa when Muhammad went on his crusade on us. It was way before Edom came in there. So we've been enslaved. I can say we've been enslaved since the BC era. We've been in and out of slavery the whole time, y'all. I'll show y'all a timeline of how many times we've been in slavery. This ain't the first time we've been enslaved in America. This is not the first captivity we've been in. So over time, we've been getting beat down and getting worse and worse and worse and worse. All right, and you can read that, I think, in Leviticus 26. It go in detail. It tells you that every time we go into another captivity, it gets 7 times worse. We get worse 7 times, 7 times, 7 times, 7 times 7. Woo, yeah. Yes, y'all, I'm telling you. Go ahead. It says, my people what?
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Why?
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
You lack knowledge because you reject it. You go about to establish your own righteousness and wondering why you can't. Sisters be out there, I can't find a man. It's because you ain't got no understanding. All right. If you had understanding, you would be prepared for a man. You would have to go look for one. All right. The moment you will wake up and a man will be right before you. All right. Just like in the garden. You'll be walking, and that brother will be right there. The Most High put that brother in your path. A brother, that sister in your path, because you out there doing the works of the Most High. And of course, you out here, you providing and getting yourself prepared to take on a woman. All right, go ahead.
I will also reject thee.
He said, I will also reject you. So the Most High said, when you reject knowledge, you rejecting his knowledge. You rejecting what he wants you to do. All right, so he said, I'm going to reject you. And what else?
that thou shalt be no priest to me,
You can't be a priest. You ain't holy. Go ahead.
seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High.
See, that's the knowledge of the Most High. That's His righteousness. It's His what? Law. We keep going into this over and over again. Christ said that if you don't do the will of the Father, I never knew you. That's the law. That's what you rejecting. Go ahead.
I will also forget thy children.
He said, I'm going to forget your children. All right, we just went over a lesson and we went through all the curses. All those curses are on us. We are the children of those people that Hosea is talking to. Keep going.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
As they were increased,
As you were increased,
so they sinned against me.
so they sinned against me. So as we get better and we started becoming great in the earth, that's when we sinned against the Most High more and more. Go ahead.
Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
So as high as you went, you was the peak, the pinnacle. Now you the base, like we read in the curse. Go ahead, keep going though.
They eat up the sin of my people.
They eat up what?
They eat up the sin of my people,
Go ahead.
and they set their heart on their iniquity.
See, and we that's what we think about. All we think about is our iniquity. What we gonna do? We be sitting around thinking like, ooh, bruh, if I had her. Ooh, if I had him. Ooh, bruh. I think, boy, I'm gonna go at, boy. I think, boy, that's an easy lick right there. Look at bro, he don't care, he ain't even watching. I'm gonna run up in there and get him for everything. Yeah. Plotting, wickedness. That's what we do. And your mind is gonna be on those things if that's how you listening to. You in the car listening to somebody plotting and talking about how they gonna kill a nigga. You know, that's what you gonna do. As soon as you get a chance, you gonna execute what you been programmed to do. And then you probably watching hood movies all the time. That's what you gonna do. You gonna be what you see. Whatever you put in your eyes and your ears is what you gonna be. So if you want to change, you need to read a new book, which is the scriptures, and you need to listen to some better music. All right, keep going though.
Verse 9.
All right.
And there shall be like people.
They should what?
There shall be like people, like priests. And I will punish them for their ways.
He said he's going to punish you for your ways. You wonder why you can't prosper. You wonder why every time you about to get ahead, something happen. All right, we already told you cursed. So if you cursed and you continue to do what you're not supposed to do, the curses get heavier. Go ahead.
And reward them their doings.
Yep, he's going to reward you for your doings. Go ahead.
For they shall eat and not have enough.
So you shall eat and not have enough. When you eat and don't have enough, do you know what that means? That means you're possessed. Since you sacrificing, you dealing with demons, those demons will what? They will rule over you. All right? Go ahead.
They shall commit whoredom.
They shall what?
They shall commit whoredom.
So you shall commit whoredom. Whoredom will be a staple of your what? Existence. We're talking about the whole nation of Israel. All right, come on now. Come on now. We already done come on now. I don't know what to say. When you look at our people, but you just walk out, go to Walmart, go to the mall. I see holes everywhere. When I look at, if I see my sisters, that's what they look like. I don't mean to offend y'all, but you look like whores. All right. And most of y'all done been with more than 5 men. You shouldn't even be with one if he ain't your husband. That's considered whoredom. All right, go ahead.
For they shall commit whoredom and shall not increase.
Whoa. You should commit whoredom but not increase. So that means a whore has what? Sex with a man. All right, and through what? Through intercourse. A child's supposed to come. But won't no children come from you? Why? Because of what? Abortion. Or what? In those days, a child would come out of there with, trying to think of a good word to say, out of them coming together, all right, because they probably did some type of ritual, and then they would sacrifice that child.
Oh, man.
All right, go ahead.
Because they have not left off to take heed to the Most High.
See, you're gonna do the things that what the Gentiles do and what the demons instruct you to do. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Whoredom and wine and new wine taketh away the heart.
See, whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. All right, so whoredom, which means what? Dealing with unsolicited sex. All right, and then new wine is speaking of what? Of the wine is as far as doctrine. All right, you dealing with other doctrines that you ain't supposed to be dealing with. Go ahead.
Verse 12.
And it take away your heart. So what's your heart? Your heart is your mind. So you go about thinking what? I got my own truth. Your own truth is a lie. Your own truth is nonsense. Because a lot of people that say they have their own truth, they always void of something. They don't have something. They always desire something, but they can't get it. And they desire what? The things that are necessities to life. All right, go ahead.
Verse 12. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their power.
See, now you're dealing with what? We was talking about dealing with idols. All right, go ahead.
They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains.
See, they sacrificed on the top of the mountains. This is what our people were doing. Go ahead.
And burn incense upon the hills.
And burn incense upon the hills. All right, so we was going on the top of the mountains dealing with these spirits. All right, burning incense to these spirits. When we talk about the sage, we want to invite, I burn sage, I want to invite good energy, in my house. And then you keep burning sage, that sage ain't good enough. The demon's gonna let you know that ain't good enough. You're gonna start feeling like you in Amityville horror, like you in a haunted house. All right, because they need enough. That sacrifice ain't good enough no more. Burning incense to me ain't cutting it. I need something. All right, go ahead.
And burn incense upon the hills. Under oaks and poplars and elms.
Go ahead.
Because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom.
What?
Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom.
So read that one time.
And therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom.
Because you're gonna teach your daughters this stuff, and they're gonna be what? They're gonna be, they're gonna be what? They're gonna be city girls. How you think that we come to such a pass till you see a display of a black woman on TV like that? It's because through the generations we've been dealing with what? With our own truth and all this other stuff, and we ain't even thinking about the kingdom or the gospel. Go ahead.
And your spouses shall commit adultery.
And your what?
And your spouses shall commit adultery.
And your spouse is gonna commit adultery because they're gonna think that they under grace, and all they gotta do is ask for forgiveness. All right, they're not gonna have a law that's gonna restrict them from doing something. They're not gonna have something they could read. Like when I read it in the Bible and I studied the scriptures and I understood that I couldn't commit adultery. All right, and it was a law and it was punishable by death. All right, that means that's a big sin if you gotta die from it. And then when I read about not Daniel, but David, and how when he dealt with Bathsheba, all right, he cursed his whole family. He lost his top general. He lost his son. All right, his other son was killed. All right, by his general. Then his general killed himself. His daughter was raped by one of his sons. Like, but that's crazy. That means the Most High took his hedge off of David and his family and let demons run shod, like just go crazy in the house, in his family. All right, that's what happens. Because everybody has that feeling when they feel like they naked, when they void of the Most High. you don't have no hedge over you. Because it feel like something finna go wrong at any time. Feel like you done smoked a big pack. And you paranoid. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Better leave them drugs alone too. All right, go ahead.
Verse 14.
Yes.
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
He said what?
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
I will what?
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
Nor your spouses when they commit adultery.
Oh, go ahead.
For themselves are separated with whores.
I'd say no more. Go ahead.
And they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore,
And they what?
and they sacrifice with harlots.
So they were sacrificing with harlots back then. But you gotta, guys. I need you to open up your brain and go with me. All right. If you've been to a juke joint, all the way to a strip club, to a club in between, those are temples, y'all. Those are temples. You got music in there, and because most of the music that you're listening to is inspired by a demon. All right, so you dancing to this demon song that he used this rapper or this R&B singer to get you to do immoral things, because everything in those songs are immoral. All right, and then you got libations. Libations is liquor. So you in there drinking, and then now people be in the club smoking, getting high. So you burning incense and you smoking the incense at the same time. All right, and then you got what? Whores everywhere, and whoremongers. So this is a big ceremony. The Most High don't like that, man. And some of y'all will go to the club and then go what? Go to church the next day. Go to another temple with idols and whores and whoremongers in it. All right, and thinking you cleansing yourself, and your eyes probably red as that PAMAA logo. Everybody know you been out there. Most of them they went too. All right, go ahead.
Therefore, the people that do not understand shall fall. Verse 15.
That's good. So the people that do not understand what
shall fall.
Shall fall. So if you go about establishing your own righteousness through your ignorance, it's because you do what you don't want to deal with the Most High and His laws. So we're telling you that you have to do that. All right, and we must do it. Let's go to Isaiah 58, verse 1. Right quick. So we have to tell y'all this, man. We must do this. We must tell you that you're wrong. All right, but read that right quick.
Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud.
Who?
Cry aloud.
We're supposed to cry loud. Go ahead.
Spare not.
We ain't supposed to spare nobody. All right. Hold on now. Say what?
Cry aloud.
Cry loud.
Spare not.
Spare not.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
We gotta lift our voice like a trumpet. Brothers out there, you gotta tell people when they wrong. All right. That's the problem with our families. Our families are not right because you got men that are over the families that don't want to what? Spare not, cry out loud, and what?
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Lift our voice up like a trumpet. Brothers, you ain't supposed to be walking around here talking like Dr. Phil. You ain't supposed to be walking around here talking like Joel Osteen or Billy Graham. All right? You ain't supposed to talk like none of them. We talk loud. And when you bring a rebuke, you get loud. You have to understand when a lion is, when he done had enough, what did he do? He roar. And everything stops. Yes. You have to be like this. You can't be afraid of your position.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
And show my people their transgressions.
And show my people their transgressions. Go ahead.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
See, he said his people are the house of Jacob. So we must tell Jacob when they wrong. Period. All right. People, they'll see me for the first time and they don't like me. Because off the bat, I'm like, hey, bro, I can't, hey, bro, I love the cornbread. I can't eat that. What you mean? Bro, I can't eat no pork. You shouldn't either. It ain't good for you. Brother, we're allergic to it. But what you talking about? What I'm allergic to? I'm allergic to pork. Like, bro, if you keep eating, what happened? I get high blood pressure. That's an allergic reaction. That's an allergic reaction. Your body's telling you, hey, don't put this in your body. But Edom, now I ain't even gonna say Edom. We're not gonna blame the white man for anything because the white man did not come up with the medicine that he came up with. He got it from the gods. The God said, "Get the children of Israel this pill. It's called a water pill. And then it'll help you out. Then it gets worse because that water pill ain't doing nothing. Then they give you what? They give you some like a statin. Now they thinning your blood out, and you ain't even supposed to use a statin like that. You only supposed to use it to thin the blood doing surgery. And now you're using the statin every day, so you're a ticking time bomb ready to die. Because you still eating the pork. And you taking a statin.
My God.
Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because they what? What they do? Because they what?
Because they reject knowledge.
Because they reject knowledge. I'm telling you, I'm giving you game right here.
Yep.
Straight knowledge. Alright? So what? Cry loud.
Spare not.
And spare not.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
And show my people their transgressions.
Alright?
And the house of Jacob their sins.
Come on now. Come on. So we have to do that. And brothers, this is what we have to do. We cannot in no way or fashion sit around and continue to act like females. You know why? Go to Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 11. All right, we ain't even really going into the lesson we supposed to go into. We done went in the highest taking us somewhere else today. He gave charge to some angel or the Holy Spirit. Hey, put Chris and Mike on another direction. We was gonna talk about the gospel. Let's talk about the things that are wrong with Israel right now. All right. So 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Chapter 11, verse 1. Read this right quick, because we was talking about the brothers and how they need to step up and take their position. All right, go ahead.
Be ye followers of me.
Be ye followers of me. This is Paul. Go ahead.
Even as I also am of Christ.
Yeah, in that order. We follow Christ. Can y'all follow what we telling y'all? Because it come from Christ. Check out what Paul gonna say.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things.
Yes.
And keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you.
So if he say that he's a follower of Christ, where do you think his ordinances come from? Come from Christ. And where does Christ's ordinances come from? From the Most High. Come on, let's in this order. Come on.
Verse 3.
But
I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
I have you know that the head of every man is who?
Christ.
Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of who?
And the head of the woman is the man.
Ooh, so the head of the woman is the man. All right, go ahead.
And the head of Christ is Ahayah.
All right, so the head of Christ is Ahayah. So the ordinances must come down in that order. If anything get out of order, if the woman is before the man, that's out of order. So that means there ain't no blessings coming upon that family. You might have substance, but look how disorganized your family is. All right, just think about this right here. You know, everybody I know in my generation, most families, everybody went to their grandma for advice. They never went to their grandfather. It can't work that way because grandmama is not going to give you the correct advice because she wants you. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You know, I know she wrong, but I couldn't tell her she was wrong. And I used to witness that a lot. I used to get pissed. I'm like, what, grandma? Why you tell her the truth? How you bless my grandma's soul? She just didn't want nobody to be mad at her. But she wanted to tell them the truth. You know who would tell them the truth? I'm guilty. And I used to always be the bad guy. But I was okay with it because I wanted them to know the truth.
Yep.
Because a lot of things that I was telling them, it was things that I discussed with my grandmother. Nobody would go to my grandfather. My grandfather had all the wisdom. They'll go straight to my grandma. But you know who went to my grandfather? Me. If I had to make a decision, I would talk to my grandfather first, and I would talk to my grandmother. And of course, I would deal with my parents. But I always, went in that order. I would talk to my daddy, talk to my mama. That was just in me. For some reason, I just understood that a man had more, that he was more logical than a woman because a woman thinks off emotion. All right? We good with that, bro.
Good.
Good with that. All right? Yeah. So, we're going to go back. All right? Let's go back to Matthew.
Yes, sir.
We are live.
Get it out, bro. Yeah.
Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Ricky Thaddeus on the beat.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. They can't fool me this time around.
Got up out that hot seat. Cause that seat burned. Leave them in the dust. Enough dust to fill 10 urns. If you not a law keeper, then this not your concern. The game already kicked off. Now we waiting on that return. Sip a little wine, but to keep focused, don't get lick it up. By that time it's too late. It's time to figure out that it's us. Solo. It's about time that we live it up. My sight clear, they wanna shut my eyes, but ain't a blindfold that's thick enough. Can't fool me this time around, cause the Most High is shining down. I ain't going back to them old days. They ask if I'm going back to them old ways. I tell them,
oh no. Oh no.
oh no,
Oh no. Oh no.
oh no,
Oh no. Oh no. They can't fool me this time around.
This is the truth, but they can't handle it. Question how they gonna survive. Them the ones who won't manage it. Cannibals, ravenous, savages. My life is not a movie, but I'll be everywhere them cameras is. Cause they spying, can't get a real Jews the truth, so they lying. Used to hit the snooze, don't wanna lose, so I ain't trying. We awoke, now a fire burning. Shout out